Hello students, Dr. Everton here. I want to share a brief video with you, screencast, that will walk you through the steps for how to best use the Turnitin tool to get the feedback to your writing that I hope to share through the Turnitin GRADEMARK tool. So I'm just going to demonstrate how this works briefly through a couple of courses where I've been using this tool. So here you'll see a course that is this is a FYI course, and in various courses the Turnitin handout will be housed in various places, but it'll be in resources somewhere, and in this course it's housed in resources, and it's in a file that is labeled Writing and Research Resources. You see at the top here, and down at the bottom you'll see a handout that says Turnitin Report Instructions. And one of the things you can do is you can click on this, and this, if you're watching this video the link was embedded in this handout, you've already opened this handout, but it basically walks you through the process of how to view the report. So I'm going to show you through this video segment how we can do this with a student paper. This goes into a little bit more detail about how the comment tool and the rubric actually work. So I have a student's paper from last semester. She did very well on the assignment in my technical writing class, and so what she could have done is she could go into the assignments area and click on the particular assignment that she was curious about her grade, and she should see a grade there at some point, maybe some comments from the instructor. In this case, all I said was look at the Turnitin report above. At the top, you see that you have her submitted attachment, and in other classes you may have an instructor who will add attachments at the bottom that are the comments that they've uploaded as a different file. We're using Turnitin to both analyze the originality of the report, so to check for plagiarism, and to provide some feedback. So what you'll all need to do is find the Turnitin report labeled at the top and view report, and click on it, and it should open the Turnitin window. And in this screen, now my screen is different than yours because I'm an instructor, but in your screen you should have roughly the same sort of markings at the top. And one of the things is the main screen checks the originality of the report, which is the sources that are from outside resources that Turnitin has in its catalog. So it's basically checking for plagiarism or originality, and here the student has some elements that are highlighted because it's from a template that we use at CSC, so that's completely normal. And then we would be looking to see if there are other areas where there has been, like here's an example from Wikipedia, and Turnitin tells us that the student has some elements of this internet site in the paper, and then we can check and see that it's being cited, and that's all on the up and up. And for the most part, you want to have a low originality number. Too high of a number says that there's quite a bit of your paper that's either copying or illustrating parts of the internet or other sources and resources out there. This is for a technical writing assignment where students were using a template that had a lot of the language that has already been housed from the CSC site, so those numbers will be a little bit skewed. What we're mostly interested in, though, is in the GRADEMARK tool, and this is what you have to do in order to see your comments from your instructor, so I want to stress this as much as I can. You come in here, it'll go to the originality report to begin with, but what you really want to look at is to click on the GRADEMARK tool, and you'll see a couple of panes open up. You'll see your paper will be presented here, and then every place that there is a comment from your instructor, you will see it as these little thought bubbles, and you click on those. And there will be other sort of indications, comments. You'll maybe see notes here with further notes, and it looks slightly different in your screen because, again, this is the instructor version. But every place that's highlighted like this, you should have a sense of that there's a comment, and you just go and review those comments. Sometimes I will just highlight a word or two, and there will be just blank, but that's just to say, hey, there's something that needs to be corrected here. That's what the explanation at the top here is about. So that's basically how the surface comments work in the report. Then at the end of the report, there may be some additional comments at the very end from your instructor. But it's important, and usually I will say take a look at these areas over here on this part of the, it doesn't quite fit in here. Let me get up here. Okay, here at the bottom of the Turnitin pane, you'll notice that there are a couple of areas that, let me move your instructor's image here. So here at the bottom, you'll note that there's the quick mark feature, so you can get a list of all the quick marks. There's comments, so this is important. These are comments from your instructor that are sort of the overarching comments about the paper. And so usually I will put my final comments there. I could put them at the end of the paper in a quote box, but I find that it's nice to just have it here in this part of the grade mark that leaves a comment at the end. So that is the text comments at the end. Sometimes your instructor may leave a voice comment. I don't generally do that. You can get a list of all the comments by page and jump to those. And then finally, in some courses where we're doing written work, I will use a writing rubric of some sort, usually the value rubric for written communication. And so that is, if you click on that, you'll see the rubric listed with each of the point values, and then if you click on the various numbers, you'll see what the language is, the explanation that coincides with that numerical value, and then Turnitin automatically computes this rubric to give you a percentage, and the percentage will then appear here at the bottom. And at CSE, Turnitin is not synced so that it automatically puts the grade in your grade book, but your instructor can put a grade up here and say, you know, it's 86 plus the student had 10 extra credit points. So 96 is the final grade that appears at the top, and that's how the Turnitin GRADEMARK interface works. Again, make sure you click on GRADEMARK to see the comments. Look for the thought bubbles throughout all the paper for my specific comments and the highlighted text. Check the text comments for overall end of the paper sort of thoughts from your instructor and a sense of the grade. And if there's a rubric, there will be a grading rubric that will be marked that will give you the percentage and your final grade in that regard. Thank you for paying attention to this screencast where I hope I've been able to clarify how GRADEMARK works on your papers.